everyone and welcome back. So today I thought we'd film one of those assumptions about me video. Yes, I am jumping on the bandwagon. I know this is kind of like one of those challenge things that's been going around for ages, but because we're back in a good YouTube routine, I thought I would do it. I actually feel really nervous. I'm just generally not that good with like thinking that people don't like me and like negativity. So I wish I was like a little bit more thick-skinned than I was. So I'm hoping not many of them are going to be too harsh. I put one of those little boxes up on my Instagram story, so let's hear your guys' assumptions about me. I actually really wanted to get Elliot to film this. He's actually gone out to collect some of the stock from the warehouse for his On My Way collection, which should be dropping in the next few weeks, which is super exciting. Also, sorry if I keep lisping a little bit, but I had my Invisalign fitted yesterday and they put these little like dots on your teeth, and even though I've taken the actual Invisalign out to film this video because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to deal with like how much lisp it was giving me, I do think these are giving me like a tiny bit of a lisp anyway. You know, the little like dots to keep the plastic things on. But anyway, so let's get started. You seem very independent and strong. And yeah, I think I am. I'm definitely very independent. My parents split up when I was really, really young, like before I started primary school, and my mum would do these drills with us where she'd like pretend that something bad had happened to her and we'd have to like know how to call 999 and stuff like that. And I feel like that's quite a good example of the way they've kind of brought us up. Like I've always known how to do everything for myself. Yeah, I'm just really, really not a codependent person at all. I am strong. I definitely am strong. I would say I've had quite a lot of like, I don't know, life experience, if that makes sense. I've not had like a very smooth sailing upbringing. And yeah, I would say I'm pretty strong and independent, but I am also really sensitive. So I guess the other side of being strong is like, I am like quite emotional and I pick up on other people's emotions like a lot. You are very down to earth. That's such a sweet one. I think I am pretty down to earth. I would say that yeah, I'm probably from a pretty grounded family. You want one child maximum. That's such an interesting one. Definitely not, if possible. So obviously I have no idea whether I can actually carry children or not, but hopefully I can. And if not, I'm actually super open to adoption. I don't feel that carrying a child myself is like the main priority. I just want to be able to give a child an amazing life, but I definitely don't want one child maximum. So I have one real sister, but I have tons of step siblings, and two of them I literally have grown up with since I was like, I don't know, 4, 5 or something. So I feel like I've been brought up always having like loads of siblings around me and always felt like I was like one of 4, I guess. And I love that like camaraderie and being able to play like team games and things like that. So I think if possible, I would love to have like more than 2 children. I don't know how many, but I love the idea of having like 3 or 4. I don't know, we'll see. I don't know what Elliot thinks of that, but you love a good thrift shop. Yes, absolutely. You guys know me so well. I literally love a thrift shop. I think the first time I went into like a thrift shop or like a vintage secondhand shop kind of thing, it was a long, long time ago, and it's always been something I've been super interested in. Actually, when I was a lot younger, my dad, I remember, lent me like £200 to go and buy loads of stuff from secondhand shops and then like be able to resell them on my Depop. It's always been something I've been, like really, really interested in. Also because over the past few years, I've become way more aware of the environmental impact of buying fast fashion especially, but also, you know, just stuff that isn't secondhand when it could be secondhand kind of thing. So yeah, I would say it's actually something I'm like super, super passionate about. I also love being able to find things that you're not going to find anywhere else. I just love that things are like super unique. The other thing that I love doing, which I actually think is quite a good tip for you guys. So like the other day, I really wanted to buy myself, I've just realized this whole video is probably just going to be me going off on a tangent, but I should have definitely done one of those quick fire ones instead. But I decided that I really wanted a pair of Doc Martens. I've actually looked into getting a pair of Doc Martens for like the last few autumn winters kind of thing, but I looked on Depop and I found a pair in my size and they've been worn like twice. So I just think buying secondhand, especially from places like Depop, which is so accessible to us, is such a good thing. Even if your vibe is like not vintage clothing, you can honestly really often find like a pair of Nike trainers or whatever from Depop, and they might have been worn like once or twice. You were born into a well-off family, not filthy rich, but very comfortably wealthy. Yeah, I would, God, I find questions like this so awkward. Yeah, I would say that is true. I have had a very privileged upbringing, and yeah, luckily I don't, it's such an awkward thing to answer, isn't it? Yeah, I would say that's right. Oh my God, this is one of my friends that's written this. They've linked anniesburgershack.com and put runs a burger shack on the slide. Absolutely. I would actually love to have my own like cafe or restaurant or something, but I did work in a kind of cafe restaurant on like the year that I came out of uni, and that actually made me realize just like how stressful it was. So maybe we will rethink that. This is a really cute one. You're beautiful inside and out. Oh my God, that is so sweet. I don't know, that's for you guys to decide, I guess. People who complain a lot annoy you and you don't have time for it. That's actually so true. I'm not very good with people that complain about things. I'm very much someone that just kind of gets on with it, and yeah, I actually just don't have much time for people that complain. I just think it's okay complaining about something if it's like really, really not gone your way, or it's genuinely a really, really big deal. But people that complain about really petty things, it's like, is that really having that much of an effect on your life? Why don't you just get on with it? And yeah. You have a ton of friends. I do have quite a lot of friends actually. I find it really hard to like fit in seeing the amount of friends that I have now. The main reason for this, I think, is because when I was younger I had quite a lot of hobbies. I also have a few different groups from secondary school. So I've got like a group that I go on holiday with every year, which is mixed boys and girls, and then I have like an all girls group as well. I don't know, I think I'm quite good at staying in contact with people in general. So a lot of the friends that I've had for a long time I haven't lost, which I think is probably quite common. I then went to university and I also play squash, so I also have like a group of friends from university that are squash, and then I have like a squash kind of group of friends from like doing tournaments when I was younger and things like that. So I would say I do, but it's very well, I am actually a massive chatterbox, so it's probably not that surprising, but I think it's also because of like circumstances. You went to a private school. No, I didn't go to a private school. I went to a state school, but what I will say is my state school was probably like as close to a private school as you're gonna get. I mean, it might as well have been a private school. It was a very good state school. It's one of those ones that like, well, my parents moved to the area to try and get me and my sister into that school, and a lot of people do the same thing because it's a very good, it was like a very academic school, but non-fee paying, which is so fab. You know all the words to all the songs from Hairspray. I will be sad if not. So really annoyingly, I don't know all the words to all the songs from Hairspray. However, I love a musical and I know some of the words to some of the songs from Hairspray. But honestly, get me on like Wicked. I know pretty much every single word to every single song from Wicked. The Lion King, why can I not think of any more musicals? I literally love musicals so much. It's something that my family have always been really, really into, and we used to come down to London when I was younger to watch musicals at the theatre, and I used to love them so much. So no, not to Hairspray, but that probably is quite surprising to some of my friends because I love a musical. So this one just says vegetarian, and I'm guessing that means that I am vegetarian. So no, I am not vegetarian. I would say that like 99% of the time I am pescatarian. I do eat meat sometimes, like I would never label myself as pescatarian, just because like when I have a Chinese takeaway, for example, to me, there's nothing vegetarian that cuts it, if that makes sense, or vegan that cuts it in terms of like the things that I really like from it. Having said that, I never really cook meat. It's so rare that I do, and it will usually be for something that like Elliot's involved in, my housemates are involved in, or something if I do. But no, I'm not vegetarian. I do eat vegetarian a lot of the time though. Like I've pretty much had a vegan day of eating today, but I'm really, really against labeling myself, because what I think happens is people like pigeonhole you, and then they call you out for doing anything that's not eating a vegetarian diet. The other thing is, this probably sounds like a really lousy excuse, but I picture like going to my grandpa's house and being like, no grandpa, I'm not gonna have your like lovely roast dinner today. I'm actually vegan now, and he'd be so disappointed. So considering I cut out meat almost everywhere where I can, I think I'm doing like a pretty good job. So the next one is that you're more of an introvert than an extrovert. No, that's so interesting. So no, I wouldn't say I'm an introvert. I would say someone's described me once as a introverted extrovert, which I think in some ways is true, but what I would say is that I'm pretty like chatty. I don't know, it's a difficult one. I really struggle with self-confidence, if I'm being really honest. Like that's something, yeah, I really struggle with it, and it's something that I've been trying to work on over the past few years, and I think that's my introvert side. My extrovert side is like my exterior. I don't worry about like chatting to other people, and I'm, yeah, just generally like a massive chatterbox, and I think that always makes me seem extroverted, but I think I am an extrovert in lots of ways. I'm definitely more towards extrovert than introvert on the scale, but apparently when I was younger, I was probably like a little bit of the other way around. So yeah. Next one, you live alone in London. No, I don't live alone in London. Why do you think that if you follow me? So I currently live with 4 of my best friends, and it's so much fun. The year before that I lived with 2 of my best friends, and I still live with those 2 now, but just with 2 extras. No, we have honestly the funnest house ever, but in November kind of it's a bit like bittersweet, but I'm moving in here with Elliot. I've now realised that I've mentioned this in every single video recently, but I'm moving in here in November full time. So this is mine and Elliot's flat that we got together, but his lease was up in July. So he moved in here just a bit early, and then I'll be moving in November and leaving my friends, which is super sad. But no, I don't live alone, and I'm actually not sure if I could live alone. I don't know. Sometimes I think I could, but I definitely also really thrive off human interaction. So this one, I think this is an assumption at the end. At the end it says always seems to be positive. So I think that means like, am I always positive? So no, I actually don't think I am. I think I'm a positive person in lots of ways, and I think I'm really positive in my approach to a lot of things. I feel like I'm gonna explain this really badly. Like I'm really positive with like my friendships, and like, you know, if my friends are going through a hard time, like I find it really easy to be positive for them and things like that. But I do think, like most people, I can be sometimes just really negative with like the way that I see myself. But then, I don't know, I'm quite positive in the way that I like see the world in general. So I think maybe that always comes out a bit more, but I can be quite negative and have a lot of like negative energy towards myself, which is definitely something I'm trying to work on. Right, last one, because I feel like we've done tons of these. You are quite shy. I think you're the sweetest and most real, honestly, but this might be one. No, I'm actually really not shy at all. I always find this so interesting. Maybe I come across a bit like that on social media, but I don't know. I can sometimes get a little bit awkward in front of the camera and not really just like chatting to you guys like this, but I don't know. No, I'm actually really not shy, and I think I'm really confident with talking to people, especially. Like I wouldn't feel that nervous about like standing up on a stage in front of people or like doing a speech or something like that. I think that's probably like one of my areas of, I don't know, just like one of my strengths is just generally like social interaction. But apart from that, that was a really sweet one. Okay, right, we will leave it there. I hope you guys have like got to know. I feel like I maybe got to know myself a bit better during that as well. But anyway, that was a lot of fun to film. So I hope you enjoyed watching it as well. Please make sure to leave me a thumbs up and a comment if you have anything nice to say. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.